people are dying with heart attack in the gym. And right after any report that comes out, my inbox gets flooded. Said, Dr. Pal, you said to work out. What is this? It's better that I don't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is your take? How do you I'm pretty sure you've been asked that question so many times.
So it's largely ignorance, and people don't look at a bigger picture. People don't look at the statistics. So fact is that in India, roughly 20 to 30 lakh people die of heart attack every day, which means on a given day, you have at least 6,000 to 8,000 people dying of heart attacks. Now, every day, 6 to 8,000 people who are dying of heart attack, what are the top reasons as per WHO? Obesity, lack of physical activity, alcohol, tobacco, and smoking. And then you have stress and air pollution.
Family history.
Right? But top reasons are sedentary lifestyle, obesity, smoking, drinking, tobacco. Right? So 6 to 8,000 people are dying because of that. But one fine day, one person dies of heart attack and you're going to blame exercise. How stupid is that? So every day, 6 to 8,000 people are dying. And people are ignoring that. Media is not picking on that. The media is picking on, there were 6 doctors who died, out of which one played tennis. I mean, where's the correlation? He played tennis, so what? We've already established that sports is not necessarily healthy for you. You have to be healthy enough to play a sport. And health is much more. Health is motion, nutrition, hydration, and rest. If you're missing out on any of those things, you're not healthy. Right? So I think it's largely people who have some sort of bias against exercising, or people who are lazy. They typically get use these things as a trap to confuse others also. For example, if I'm a lazy guy who loves eating and drinking and I do all that shit, if somebody tells me, hey, why don't you do something about your health? He's like, hey, look at that healthy person. He died. That's why I'm not going to the gym. So it's more like an excuse for self. Because if I really was invested in it, I'd research, I'd look at the statistics, I'll find out the reason for death. Now, out of the 7 odd cases that happened last year, what did we find out the history? Were they smoking? I can for sure say that some of them were very heavy smokers. Were they drinking? Absolutely. Bollywood is known for parties.
Stress levels.
Right? Stress levels. Sleeping enough.
Family history.
People are trying to set examples that, hey, I work 16 to 20 hours a day. I sleep for 4 hours. That's nothing to be proud of. Sleep, chronic sleep deprivation is linked to chronic diseases.
Correct.
We've seen that. The Sleep Institute says that you have to sleep for at least 7 to 8 hours every day. If you're athletic, maybe 8 to 9 hours. How many people are following these guidelines? So I'm saying all of these things, and all you do is blame going to the gym. That's so stupid.
How about being fit during exertion, right? Is there a real concern where, you maybe there is underlying coronary artery disease and you are working out while you're exerting too much that the heart vasculature is not able to compromise? Is that a concern at all?
So if you're lifting weights, there's no chance that you're dying because of lifting weights. Usually people who die in the gym die on treadmills. Yes. So again, that's why it's very important for people to understand that exercise is not one thing. Exercise also depends on what kind of exercise you're doing. Right? So if you're doing cardio, that's a different exercise. If you're walking, that's a different exercise. If you're playing a sport, it's not exercise.
Correct.
If you're doing weight training, that's a different exercise. So you'd rarely come across people dying while squatting or bench pressing or lifting weights. Usually when people die in the gym, they're either on the treadmill or doing some sort of a cardio exercise. Right?
Should they have to be evaluated before? Or?
Yes. So if you have, let's say, pre-existing illnesses, if you have some pre-existing
high blood pressure, or heart issues,
yes, in that case, it's always better to get a supervision, get a clearance from your doctor. Exercise in general is good for you, and over a period of time, it has also been established that the more exercise you do, the better your health gets. But there's a natural progression to it. If you have never worked in your life, you go to the gym, work out for 3 hours, you'll die. But athletes in general train for 4 to 5 hours, and they're perfectly fine. They're some of the healthiest people on the planet, right? Given that they control their habits after their, sports career. A point I'm trying to make is that just putting a blanket statement that exercise is bad for you is the worst advice ever.
That's the worst advice.
Yeah, exercise is good for you. Exercise is the thing that keeps you healthy. It's the one thing that keeps your heart healthy. Okay, but understand what kind of exercise, where's the progression, how much exercise you did on day one, and then try increasing it from, let's say, whatever, by 1%. Don't suddenly go from one extreme to another extreme. First, you were not exercising, now you're exercising for 3 hours. That's the problem.
Thank you. Slow and progressively increase.
Yes.
And we are finally agreeing and summarizing that walking is not an exercise.
Yeah, walking is good.
Is good,
It's
better
not an
than nothing.
exercise. It's good for your joints. It's good for mobility. It's good for energy expenditure. But it's not an exercise. You still need exercise.
So walking is good, but you need to do exercise on top of walking as well. Super. Sounds good.